Councillors, are there any further questions or debate? Councillor McGinlay.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I was being very conscious today while listening to the four speakers who were addressing this issue. Quite a few of them actually got into the content of the draft amendment, so I stayed out of that debate and stayed out of asking questions, as I consider this submission to be primarily not what we think about the contents. However, I do have to make a comment or two, and that is, not only will this be contentious, as we've already seen, even before it goes out for public exhibition, and I know Councillor Tate in his, I won't call it debate, but his discussion with one of the speakers and challenging that speaker to go and do research for us. Councillor Tate mentioned that we seem to be pretty good compared to a lot of other councils. I'll actually second that perception. Again, it's just anecdotal, but going to various other places, other councillors have mentioned that they rather admire our setup. But what this draft does is actually bring us back to the pack. I mean, where we have been actually excelling, and this council does some things pretty well. One of them has been to date the fact that we do have a public access session, which we don't have to have, the fact that we do videotape our public forum, and other people envy us for that. Now, for us to actually have paved the way for a lot of other councils to suddenly go, oops, stop, let's implement something regressive, you know? I hear the phrase going forward a lot. Well, this is just going backward, sorry. To me, it's quite preposterous to throw away something good. I've seen the reasons. I am, like another different speaker, totally unconvinced by the arguments put forward. I foresee this is going to be a very big issue. And certainly at this stage, without having read the submissions, my current thoughts are that I will be putting in a lot of counter-arguments, particularly around Section 3, but also little things that seem to have been lost. Within the red part, which are recommendations rather than not mandatory, there's one simple thing which states that every time a decision is made by council, it's automatically recorded who voted for it and who voted against it. That's not our current practice. To me, it's a good recommendation from our Office of Local Government, but we're knocking that back. So we've been quite selective on the red bits we're going for and the red bits we're going against. And overall, this is regressive. I just think, and getting back away from the contents for a second, thanks for indulging me, but getting to the motion at hand, do we put this out for public submission? When I first read through this, I was almost of the mind that this is so preposterous that I don't think it should even go out there. It's quite embarrassing that we'd ask the public to please give us your comments and us taking away your rights of representation and being heard. But by the same token, by voting to put it out there, and I pick up on Councillor Constable's change, I'm certainly not endorsing the contents, but I am certainly supporting the fact that the public will be given 42 days to make their thoughts known. So thank you. And I will be voting for this for that very reason. I want to hear what they say.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillors, any further questions or debate? Councillor Mayne.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Look, I'd probably echo some of those comments. Notwithstanding the terrific work that members of our community did a number of years ago, including the likes of Mr Peter Cormack, etc., and this previous council adopted the decision to live stream and included the public forum in that, which I think is to be commended. And as a councillor now in my third year going around the state, this council is indeed lauded for some of those really positive initiatives. We've got a changing media face in the community these days. We know that. We're seeing the demise of some media and the uptake in others. But what's central and consistent in all of that, it's need for councillors, the community, the media to be able to have opportunities to interact. And we know we live in an age demographic. We're one of the oldest shires in the state. We have a lot of people who do tune in, who are unable to get here. And what we're looking to propose now is, instead of continuing to push the boundaries to be a real leader in engagement and transparency with our community, we seem to be taking a step that's shutting down a critical televised interface with our community. And you know what? Sometimes it gets messy, sometimes it gets a bit narky, sometimes it gets a bit awkward. But that's democracy at its heart as well. We get to exchange and people get to listen, to participate and to watch. And I'm really concerned that we as a council are moving ourselves from being a leader and we're taking a backward step. And you've got to go to the first principle. Why would we do this? Yes, we as council are here to make decisions. I think we've made decisions over the last 2.5 years. I don't recall when we haven't. And this argument that says, now and again we get a lot of people come in, be it for Huntfest, RLS or Ross. Geez, that's only 3 examples over 2.5 years, and I think the Huntfest one was under the previous council. It doesn't happen often. So what's broken that we are trying to address? I don't think there is anything broken, but if we're going to do something, we'd have to enhance. How is taking away televising exchange with the community enhancing, and how is then potentially saying if too many people under democracy want to come and debate, and who knows if they're for or against, I don't know, quite often they're neutral, they're just asking a question. We are handing that responsibility over to our staff. We're elected to hear the voice of our community, not to have staff tell us who will be speaking to us. I think this really is a retrograde step. I'm not of a mind to support this going out to the community because I think it runs a real risk at this stage of sending a really negative message about what this council is representing. I actually think we do need to go back to the drawing board, and some public interface might be helpful. Thank you, Madam Mayor.